So in the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'd like to think about methods of giving to charity. It sounds bonkers, but I'm going to suggest that there is something spiritually healthy about using standing orders and direct debits. And you might be thinking, oh, please, how can you get Jesus into some kind of technological method of giving? Well, I'll try and explain. And it starts actually from the Sermon on the Mount. At the beginning of Matthew chapter 6, Jesus talks about giving charity. It's normally translated as giving alms, when you give alms, which is that old word for charity. It says, when you give your alms, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Or don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, one way or the other. And on one level, it's a kind of puzzling phrase. Why should you do that? But he's preceded it with something a bit more obvious. He says, don't be like the Pharisees who blow a trumpet when they give alms. But you shouldn't. You should do it in secret, and then your Father will reward you in secret. And I think the reward really comes from avoiding spiritual pride. Avoiding spiritual pride. And this is a subtle one. But I think the pride comes in at the moment, it can come in at the moment when we give a donation. I'm not saying everyone feels this. Some people are just moved and they don't have it. I think, though, it can be a danger for some people. That, especially when it gets, anything more than a tenner. Because it's not really in our culture much to give more than a tenner. So when people start giving 100 quid or 500 quid or whatever it is, there can be, I'm not saying this is for you, but there can be a little sort of danger that really, really you're doing God a favour. And I'm a pretty spiritual person to have this level of generosity, but I can give this much. And it's nothing to do with that. It's just, you have your income, you have your expenditure, you work out what you can afford to give to charity, and if it's a certain sum, that's it. And one of the great things I think about direct debits and standing orders is that you kind of make that calculation, and once you've made the calculation, you just tap it into the bank account or whatever, and then each month it kind of goes. And even if it's quite a significant sum, it just kind of goes out of your monthly account. It just becomes something you do. It's just a kind of normal part of your lifestyle. And you're not thinking, oh my goodness, I've done something remarkable today. You're not getting that danger of puffed upness because it's just happening as a natural flow of things. So believe it or not, I think there's even something kind of spiritually good about giving to charity through standing orders and direct debits, because I think it helps us avoid the kind of sin of a spiritual pride.